My Love of Life Energy is a podcast created by Anna Scott. Anna knows that every human being sees life uniquely. In this podcast, she will talk to people and learn from them. These conversations are to shine the brilliance of each human being she speaks to. Join her. After each exploration, you will expand on your insights and see truth and beauty.
Good morning and good afternoon, and welcome to my podcast, My Love of Life. And today I am blessed and excited to introduce Andree Hurst, who is the co-creator and executive director of Front Porch Music. I met Andree at a meeting, and it was love at first sight, and I'm just so honored to have you here. Thank you.
The feeling is mutual. Thank you so much for having me. It's wonderful that you're doing this.
I love meeting people that I love. And I love when I meet people I love and they're up to something that I think is so cool, and then I get to share it with the world. And you are such that person. You have a 2-for-1, the blue light special.
All right.
So how did you tell me a little bit about Front Porch Music, what it is and how it came into being?
Sure. Well, Front Porch Music is an idea that's not new. People do open mics all over the country. And there was one particular open mic that I used to go to all the time in Berkeley called Hoot. And I just fell in love with that idea of people, just regular local musicians getting up on a stage in a community and sharing what they love to do. And without judgment from the audience, just support. And I guess that was close to 15 years ago that I went to my first Hoot. So when I got married to Austin in 2021, actually before that, we were starting Front Porch open mic out here in the La Miranda area because there really wasn't anything like this around here. And so we just started doing it, inviting, we went to La Miranda Music, and they were very supportive of it. We started it in their big room. I think we put a couple posters around town just to see what would happen. And people showed up. I'd say about 18, and now we have about 200.
You're kidding.
Yeah, it's the number of musicians, the number of local musicians playing out of their living room and feeling as though it's over for me that way. I'll never get my music out there. I'm just resigned to being in my living room. And then they discover that there's a community of like-minded individuals out there. And they get really excited. They show up and they start collaborating and singing together, and magic happens.
So when the people come together, they meet each other and then they start making music together with other people?
Yeah, so we have the open mic every month. It's always the third Saturday evening. Sometimes it's outdoors, sometimes it's indoors. We're finding new places to do it, and wherever you do it, people show up. So they bring their loved ones, they bring their chairs, their little lawn chairs, and their whatever they're drinking in their cooler, and their guitars, their mandolins, their fiddles, their stand-up basses, harmonicas. We have all kinds of instruments that come with the people. And so in this year, I was doing fundraising for another music organization, and I thought, we could be a nonprofit. It just suddenly dawned on me that we could be doing some really cool charitable activities with all these musicians. So we started Front Porch Music, which is a 501c3, and we just got our first grant. And so we're going to keep doing everything that we normally do because we don't want to ruin things in terms of totally changing it. But we're adding some new things that we hope people will be excited about.
So what are you going to add? What did you see?
Well, last year we started a quarterly performance series with the Town Hall Theater. Dennis Markham there, he's actually on our board, and he's just such an open-minded, open-hearted person. And when we went to him with this idea of doing Front Porch Presents to the community, because open mic See, open mic is more the players playing to each other. Front Porch Presents is for the community. They want to come in and listen to music. And so we challenge our players to put together little sets that are polished and, ready for prime time. And it's their opportunity to play in front of 200 people at the Town Hall Theater. We also always invite a special guest. So that's one thing that we do now, this quarterly performance series. And then we just got a grant to do a daytime quarterly performance series at the Lafayette Library and, that community hall.
Yeah.
That's there. So we will do that for individuals who don't like to drive at night, or we also have a special relationship with La Marinda Village to bring in individuals who can't afford to go to a nighttime concert. And so this will be free, totally free, for anybody who wants to come in and listen to music during the day. So then our musicians become volunteers. They don't expect to get paid, and they are doing this to give back. So it's really, really cool.
What is it about music that you love so much?
Well, as you can see, there's my dog back there. I don't know if you can see Teddy.
Yeah.
There he is. Guitars, we have a gift guitar program. And I think what I love about music, well, for me, just growing up around music, my brother, Brian, who's no longer with us, here he is. I always have a picture of him.
Oh, what a sweet man.
And he was a musician, a very good musician. His whole life never really got the recognition. So many musicians, artists get to put pictures on walls and in museums, in galleries, but many times musicians have a hard time being heard. So it's an art form, and it's an expression, and people want to be heard, and people want to listen, and it hits you at a very emotional. It's a very intimate medium, songwriting. You're bearing your soul when you write a song and you put it out there, and it's scary to do that. So to have a community that receives that in the same spirit that you put it out there is really important. I think it's very frustrating. My brother used to go to these open mics at bars. Nobody's listening. They're drinking, they're talking, there's some music in the background. They don't, you know what I mean? But if you come to one of our open mics, it's like everyone's laser focused on that performer. So that's what makes it special to me. And I guess music, to answer your question, I just think music is in all of us. Humming, singing in the shower, singing in the car. I think it's something we do.
When you said that, what I saw, and I've never seen music explained to me that way, that it's an art form, but it's an intimate art form, and there's no place to hang it. I just think that's beautiful. I'm curious, what it seems like is, like there's this, and I don't know if this is true, it's like a hero's journey with music is what you're offering people. In the sense that they get to, they get to, like, they forgot that they had this music or it's been put away. And then they get to remember it and practice it and play with each other, and it's received and something's healed in it. Yes. And then they have the strength or the strength and the confidence and a place then to go share this thing that they love so much that was hurt.
Right. That disappeared from their life at some point. And you see that with our, there's a lot going on around here in music. And I think when people become more confident, they're out there doing other things, which is really fun to see. And I think also the magic happens when they get together. So you might have someone showed up at this last Front Porch saying, I sing, but I don't play anything. And so I got up at the mic and I said, this is so-and-so. And is there anybody here who likes these following artists? She had a couple that she loves to sing. And like 3 hands went up. And then she went over there, met them. They were singing by the end of the night over in a corner, saying, oh, what are we going to do next time? So it's helping people see that these limits that they put on themselves, I sing, but I don't have anybody that I can play with. Well, why not? Why can't we just find each other, And so we provide kind of that facilitation. We're a little bit like eHarmony for musicians. But
That's exactly what I was just thinking. If you're a dating service for musicians,
we don't have our first marriage yet.
Well, but I have any bands, people got together and become a band?
I don't know if we can take credit for that because, it's hard to, that would be a good thing to track. It's hard to know. We know that they get together and come back and play for us. And, you see people playing together out and about. Like there's the listening room up in Luigi's. That's a very cool place to listen to music. And we see, so I hope that.
Where's that, Luigi's? I don't know that. Where is that?
It's right downtown Martinez, Luigi's Deli.
Okay, great.
And actually, one of the women that Joanne Cosmos Finn and Mike Miller, they're both Front Porchers. And I don't know if they were inspired by Front Porch, but they spun off Luigi's, and now they have a listening room, and people that are closer in proximity to Martinez are frequenting Luigi's, and also people from this area. And I mean, you'd be surprised how far people will come to play. We have people coming from, what's the farthest place? It's like 2.5 hours away.
You're kidding. Well, you've really found a need. Like you're really fulfilling, not a need, but a longing for people.
I love that. It's a longing. It is. It's an ache in your heart that especially if you write a song and nobody can hear it. I mean, that's just sad. That, it's yeah.
It seems like there's, how do I say this? Like you're taking the cap off the heart and giving a place for it to flow.
Yeah. Or maybe just a place for it to flow. Because when people show up, the cap's off, They kind of, they sort of arrive ready.
But
although some of them not so much so.
Well, I mean, you've told me a couple stories. I believe it was you who said this about people. Well, I haven't played for so long. I thought it was gone.
Yeah. And that's me.
So share your story.
So when my brother, when I was very young, 10, 11, 12, he put his big Guild guitar in my hands and he taught me how to play. And so he's 10 years older, was 10 years older. And he was a big influence. And I just started playing and then playing with girlfriends into my teens. And he decided to sell that guitar, and that totally broke my heart. I got another guitar and I played a little bit through college, but then once I got married and I had my son and I was busy in my career, music just totally went to the side. I think music for a lot of people is a luxury. And how many young people are in band and in choir and in, different things, jazz ensembles, and it just goes away. They'll say, well, I haven't played in years. And I think what happens, though, once you get to the empty nester years or you retire, it comes back. Like you'll see a guitar in a store. For me, there was a sale going on in a guitar store, and I went in and I just fell in love with this guitar and I bought it on the spot, and that was 2010, and I started playing again. So that's 14 years ago. So that's not that long ago. I was I don't want to age myself, but I was already old. I wasn't going to be in any like girl band, you know. I mean, so I was like in my room doing it by myself, and then I was divorced, and from my first husband, it's a long story. I won't go into that. But when I met Austin in 2017, he's my co-founder of Front Porch Music, and he's been in a band for 40 years.
Oh,
The
really?
same people. So we're Lonesome Eddie and the Saddle Source. So I'm in that band. So
Oh, wow.
once we started dating, and we met on eHarmony,
Wow.
like he went on there to find a harmony singer, so he found me. And so Austin, I have a picture of Austin. Let me show you. Wait, I'm attached. I'll put it up.
Well, yeah, okay.
Well, you just go to Front Porch Music, you'll see it. And so he and I started playing together, and we loved it so much. And neither one of us had really had that in our lives, having a partner that also was a singer. So he said, you have to be in the band. So I reluctantly started in the band, and now I love it, being in a band. It's like, oh my God, I never thought I'd be this age and in a band. But I would recommend it highly. So anyhow, yeah.
So what's
Where
your
was I
practice?
going?
How do you practice your music? Do you practice or play together? How does it work for you?
Yes. Well, the other thing is I used to play fiddle when I was 9 and 10. And I never thought I'd play fiddle again. And now, like, I have a fiddle on the wall over there. See how I fiddle?
Yeah. Oh my God. That's beautiful.
Last year, Austin gave me fiddle lessons as a birthday present, and I had already been playing online for a couple of years. And now I'm taking fiddle lessons with Chad Manning in Berkeley, who's just wonderful. And, I think it's important for people, if they feel like they have some music in them, to just try to learn an instrument of any kind. It takes practice and commitment, and it's like anything. But if you love it, it's never too late.
So can I ask you so I had a traumatic experience when I played clarinet in junior high, and it turned me off from music. I was thrown in a closet because I didn't know my scales and humiliated. And yet I can feel, again, this longing, what you said, everybody has music in them. And
Yes.
And oh God, I'm going to cry. I'm so curious.
Look at that. See, it's so unfair. It was taken from you because there's so many ways to learn music. You don't have to know notes and scales, and you can do it by ear.
Oh, wow.
People play violin is all by ear. Well, fiddle. I remember that was the first question I said to Chad. I don't know how to read music. He goes, you don't need to. You're just going to hear it. So, like, the connection between our hands and our ears is like real. Like, we can hear what we're doing. And you just need some encouragement and somebody to help you see that you can do that. It helps
my
with
God.
guitar to learn chords, but, that's pretty easy.
I feel the liberation of music. I have a niece who does song circles, Lindsay Scott, and I did an interview with her, and she talked about changing the way music is heard, that it went from this big thing, one person out to many, and hers is a sing-along.
Oh, I love that.
And more of a community-based experience.
And there are drum circles, and and if you I went to Ireland a couple of years ago, and every pub has like a circle of musicians, like they just all different kinds of musicians, and they play in a jam, and these jams are so fun, and you don't even have to be that good. You can kind of just play lightly in the background and just be in the room, or you can sing. This is an instrument that doesn't need any real training. Most of us, well, some people will say, oh, I'm tone deaf or I can't sing, but most people can learn how to sing.
There's something that you see about music that's in a deep human experience and what it does for the human being.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm curious what that is.
Well, if you look at all the different cultures, the indigenous cultures all have music. You know, I mean, it's the dog loves music. You know, dog animals love music. You've seen those videos of like elephants coming over to a piano player.
Yeah.
Or, I think it's I think it's in the frequencies. I think they're pure. I think it's like love. I think music is love.
Oh God. I love that you just said that. I'm going to cry. I just had this feeling of the community center, of this vision of these musicians playing their love, the audience receiving their love, and then a feeling of gratitude and of love back. Like it's a ping pong of love.
Right. Right. And that's one reason we don't do competitions. You know, I mean, I'm all for music competitions, but you know, whenever you have a winner, you have lots of losers. And I never want to have losers. I never want anyone to feel like, oh, I didn't win, or I must not be very good. And I've even heard people tell me that these competitions with young girls, some of the young girls that don't win come away feeling like, well, why bother? Why bother? When they may have had one of the most incredible voices and ways of expressing there, but there's only so many prizes they can give. So, yeah, I think music should be received in a non-judgmental way.
The feeling that I get from you and what you're doing is you're liberating music.
I know people appreciate the welcoming. We hear that a lot, you know, that they really appreciate the welcoming, the nurturing. We help people who've never been in front of a microphone before not feel stupid, or we help them plug their guitar in for the first time and see what that sounds like, or, you know, so it's both beginners, but then people who have played professionally are there too. And so you have this mixing of skill levels, which is really always fascinating. Because some people will get up there and they'll be brand new, but you can just hear it, that they've got it. You know, they're like, yeah, they may be new at it, but you know, they've got something.
Oh my gosh.
You know, there's a little place called, I think it's called the Bluebird Cafe in Nashville. And people just walk in off the street, and they try to get into the open mic and the special open mic where there's going to be important people listening, like A&R agents and people who could sign you. And Taylor Swift, as a 14-year-old, went into that open mic and blew them away with her songwriting. It was like the first time she had been in front of people. So you never know who's going to walk through the door or what. I mean, everybody has some art in them, but some people just totally blow you away with what, for some reason, with what they have.
But what I really feel is, like what I sense is the reverence for all of it.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm experiencing, the reverence and the honor of each person's gift wherever they are and however it is.
Yeah, I know. Because sometimes you'll get someone up there who gets up there with a really rough voice, but you can hear in that voice like a life lived. You know?
Yeah.
So
yeah. Wasn't it Andrew Watts?
Fun.
Is that it? Who was the Watts? The singer? Something Watts had a really rough voice. Andrew Waits.
A lot of them do. Yeah. I mean, look at Willie. Willie Nelson is, you know.
I was just thinking that name too.
Yeah. He doesn't have a classic. A lot of people were annoyed by his voice, but I love it, and I love his son Lucas. We just went and saw him. Um, but anyhow, so Front Porch, music. I think it's gonna keep growing. We have some ideas for the charitable component of it, and that's we just have to see that pans out. But one of the things we just wrote a grant for is creating a network. So people can put up their profiles and their little MP3s of themselves playing, links to their videos of them, what they love to do, what artists they like, so people can really get to know each other. Are they open for collaborative offers? What gigs are they going to do next? So I think I'm looking forward to building that up.
How is the community received this? Like when you did it at the town hall?
They love it. People love it. They love the authenticity. And I think that's what appeals to people. We always try to end out the Front Porch nights with like a really great act. Like Chad Manning is coming this next one, August 2nd, with his family band. And they're phenomenal bluegrass players. And they will draw an audience that will then see our other performers, So we're trying to sort of come up with a model here that can showcase regular people alongside really good people.
I love that.
Really good performers.
We're coming to the end of our time, and what kind of support are you looking for? What's the request that you want to put out into the universe?
Well, Front Porch Music now is a 501c3. We are looking for private donors, individuals who are, patrons of the arts. That used to be a thing, and it's not as much of a thing now, but I'm hoping that we have some patrons of the arts that would like to get involved with us, not only monetarily, but also with ideas and creativity. Also, individuals who would like to come and experience listening or playing. And so frontporchmusic.org, we have a little mailing list you can sign up for to get all the notices.
Is there anything else you would really love?
Do you want to come and sing?
That would be funny. That would be if I ever did that, oh my God, we'll talk about that offline.
Okay.
Good story.
Well, thank you. I do want to thank you too for doing this wonderful podcast. I really appreciate where you're coming from that love-centered place. It's beautiful.
It's an honor. I got to witness and feel it and share it, and I just believe it's so beautiful what you're up to and what you're giving people. I actually can feel the tearing. I can feel the beauty of it. Yeah. So thank you.
Thank you.
So I hope there's a big rich donor listening to this or finds you and they go, oh, I heard you, and that they give it to you. Okay. That's my intention.
All right. I love that.
All right. So much love. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.